All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down the 2026 Agentic Coding Trends Report and, more importantly, figure out what it actually means for you as a senior developer or architect. And look, this isn't just about some new framework or library. We're talking about a genuine evolution of what we do every day.
This quote right here from the report itself really hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the massive shift we're about to dive into. We're moving from being the person who writes every single line of code to being the conductor of a whole orchestra of AI agents.
So, here's how we'll tackle this. We've got 5 sections lined up. We'll start with how your role changes, then look at the new teams you'll manage, how you'll work with them, the business impact, and finally, a concrete roadmap so you know exactly what to do next. Okay, section 1. Let's get right to the big question on everyone's mind. Is my job going away? The short answer is no, but it is changing. Think of it less as a replacement and more as a promotion. Your role is elevating. Just look at this comparison. It shows a seismic shift in our workflow. The traditional software development lifecycle, that familiar rhythm of weeks, sometimes months, is being compressed into hours. And your position moves from being down in the weeds of implementation to the strategic command center, right at the top. So this is you, the orchestrator. Imagine you're a master architect building a skyscraper. You're not laying every single brick anymore. Instead, you're designing the master blueprint. You're directing these highly specialized construction crews, the AI agents, and you're making the final call on quality. Your value isn't in the manual labor. It's in your vision, your strategy, and your judgment. All right, so you're the orchestrator. But what exactly are these teams you'll be directing? Let's pull back the curtain on what multi-agent systems actually are, because this is where the magic really happens. The key thing to get here is that we're graduating from the simple back-and-forth chat with a single AI. This is about commanding an entire squad of specialized AIs that work together in parallel to tackle big, complex problems, just like a high-performing engineering team. And here's what that looks like in practice. It starts with you. You set the vision, the high-level goal. Then, a central agent, kind of like your team lead, breaks that big goal down into smaller, manageable tickets. And then, your specialist agents get to work. You've got your front-end agent, your API agent, your database pro, even a QA agent, all working at the same time. When they're done, everything is pulled together and handed back to you for that all-important final sign-off. Now, if you're thinking, sure, this sounds cool for small stuff, but can it handle real-world complexity? Take a look at this. This isn't a hypothetical. Rakuten gave an agent system a seriously complex task in a huge open-source library. It had to navigate 12.5 million lines of code, and it did it correctly, autonomously, in just 7 hours. The scale for this stuff is already here. Now, it might sound like we're on the fast track to full automation, but the data tells a much more interesting story. It's not about automation, it's about collaboration. I love this slide because it shows what they call the collaboration paradox. Developers are using AI in the majority of their work, 60% of the time. And yet, almost nobody is letting it run wild on its own. Full delegation is super rare. So what gives? Why are we using it so much but trusting it so little? This quote from an engineer in the study just says it all. Your experience, all those years you spent learning things the hard way, that's the magic ingredient. You have technical taste. You have intuition. You know what a good, robust solution looks and feels like. The AI is an incredibly powerful tool for sure, but it's a tool that amplifies your hard-won expertise. And what this really means is that your attention becomes your most valuable asset. You're freed from the drudgery of line-by-line code reviews. Instead, you're focusing on what truly moves the needle, validating the big architectural choices, pushing the system to its limits to find edge cases, and using your judgment on the tricky parts that the AI itself flags for your attention. Okay, so let's zoom out and talk about why the business should care. How does all this cool tech translate into actual, tangible business value? Because that's what's going to drive adoption. This chart is brilliant. It shows that just doing the same old tasks faster, that's only part of the story. The real game changer is the massive increase in the total volume of work your team can ship. We're talking more features, faster bug fixes, and, this is huge, finally having the bandwidth to tackle all those nice-to-have internal tools and innovative projects that are always stuck at the bottom of the backlog. And hey, this isn't just a hypothetical. These are real results happening today. Look at companies like Cred, Fountain, and TELUS. They're already using these agentic workflows and seeing incredible returns, doubling their execution speed, cutting processes from weeks down to days. This is happening now.
So this is all super exciting, right? But the real question is, what should you and your team be doing right now to get ready for this? Where do you focus your energy?
And this really gets to the core mindset you need. This is about making a deliberate choice inside your organization to be a leader in this transition. You want to be the one experimenting and learning now, not the one scrambling to catch up in 2 years when this is just how things are done. The report lays out 4 clear priorities. First, get really good at coordinating these multi-agent systems. That's the new leadership skill. Second, focus on building tools that scale your expertise, not replace it. Third, be an evangelist for these tools outside of engineering because the value just explodes when sales and marketing get on board. And last, but definitely not least, build security in from day one. With this much automation, it has to be part of the foundation. These 4 skills, they're what will define the next generation of tech leaders.
Let's wrap this all up, because if you take away only one thing, let it be this. This whole shift is not about taking you out of the picture. It's about putting you in the best possible position. It's about unshackling you from the repetitive, tactical grind of implementation. It frees you up so you can pour 100% of your time and energy into the strategic, architectural, and creative work, the stuff that you, as a senior leader, are uniquely qualified to do. It takes your experience, your most precious asset, and makes it the absolute center of gravity for the entire development process. And look, if this deep dive was helpful and you want to stay ahead of the curve on all the tech that's changing our world, you should definitely subscribe to VibeDoc. We can't promise our AI will do your laundry, yet, but we can promise more explainers just like this one. Go on, give it a click. Your future self is going to be very grateful.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. This change is coming, and it's coming really fast. The only question is, what are you going to build with it? Thanks for watching.